Good morning and welcome back. Today, I'm going to finish this. I mean, it's done. I just got to get this one stinking clamp to fit where it needs to go. There's like a little tab. I can't reach anything, so I'm going to try that. Then I'm going to try to get the pins out of the 8260 so I can get those new foam thingamajigs in there. And then I'm going to go over the plow. I'm going to try to get that plow. The goal is to get that ready today. I just need to decide about those points. I would like to not replace them. I mean, I'm gonna have to replace them sometime, but I think there's enough life left on these, is what I'm thinking. And I was gonna replace these too. I got some new ones of those, but I think there's enough life on those. They're still wider than the shank, and they're just worn right here. I mean, that's original. And so it hasn't worn much. So I'm thinking I could run a little bit. All the discs spin free. Checked that yesterday. I just got to grease the rolling baskets. Grease the hinge pin for the wings. Grease the tractor once I've got it. Once I get those foam deals put in. And then lower, the biggest thing will be lowering these shanks down to the lowest setting where we run these so that we can rip it deep. I spent all day crawling around on this floor, this ground. I don't really want to do it anymore, but that's what I got to do to get this thing done. Okay. Can I show you what needs to be done? I don't know. Okay. Do you see that bolt right there? There's a little bracket. It goes around that hose I replaced. There's a little tab right there. You see it now? There's a hole that tab has to go into, and I can't tell where it's at. And so when I tighten the bolt, it's not right. So I got to try to get that in that hole wherever it is without being able to grab it or do anything. So wish me luck. I got it. At least it's... Oh, I gotta stop filming. I got it. I just gotta tighten this bolt. And I have no good way to show you that. Sorry for the bad lighting. Come on now. I don't know if you can see that at all, but that's I'll just be here for a minute. I got it. See? It's good. Got this clamp tightened up. I got two more I'll do from the top side, and I'll be done. And I just hope that that's what fixes it. Also, this one was really hard to get in. This, like, just to get those things back on. Okay, well, you've seen me tighten a bolt before, and you've seen it before. I'm gonna do this one little click at a time. Not that it looks any different to you, but finished. I forgot about the starter, so I'll clean this up just a little bit. That's the thing I'm concerned about, is be able to get that nut on there. So we're about to find out. clean stuff off. I tell you the story about this starter. When I went to go pick it up, the guy had tested it. Everything tested good. Batteries tested good. While we were there, I literally am backed up into the guy's service bay. I'm sure he got sick out the window of my truck. That's why he was with me yesterday. I said, man, I'm so sorry. Is there a hose or something I can use to clean it up? He said, I've got some wool dry. What can you do? Okay. Getting it on the stud is no problem. I say that. I've never done it before. Luckily, that stud kind of holds it all. Just gonna get these started so that it doesn't fall. Okay, so here's the fun. This is what I got to work with. I can barely touch that. I got to get a nut started back there. Somehow, I don't know. What's going to be my best option here? Maybe I shouldn't have taken that tool back to John Deere. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure something out. That's the struggle I've got. I got to get this nut onto that stud. This part is easy. Otherwise, it's easy to put this all back together. I mean, it's not a problem. This is the problem. I'm getting it. I didn't show you because I didn't know if it's going to work or not. But those threads on that stud, I'm getting it one little turn at a time. But the stud, those threads were just a little bit messed up. And so I bought these a while back. It's a thread file. It wasn't the exact, I think it was probably half of that threads per inch. I don't know. But anyways, I was able to clean the threads up a little bit with this thread. Can you see there's little grooves? There's different size, different pitches of threads there. I was able to get that to spin on neater. And then I put a piece of painter's tape around my middle finger backwards so the sticky side was out. I stuck the nut up against that, and I was able to just barely, with the starter kind of not fully seated, so I had a little bit more room to get my hand in there. Got that nut on the stud, and I was just with my doing some of this movement. I got it started. So that's awesome. Now here's the. I hope it all works. But the guy told me he's had an issue before where the starter checked out, batteries checked out, and still had the same issue starting. And they replaced the starter even though everything in it looked good, and that fixed it. So I may get to do this again. I hope not, but I guess it's a possibility. I may not be able to get that back one done. Kind of the same issues I'm having right here is, so this is a socket I need, but see how the swivel I have is wider than the socket? Dad has a swivel, it's chrome, it's not impact really, but it's actually smaller diameter than that, and so this is my limiting factor. I can't get in there very good, especially on the backside with this swivel. So it's kind of similar to this situation right there. And so I may have to wait till I get that tool from Dad to finish the backside. So, but I can get everything else most areas. I can't, this is out of the way, goes to there, so I can't do that quite yet, but not a big deal. Maybe it's gonna work here. We're gonna give it a shot. Yeah, this is good news. Guess this just didn't work before because I couldn't break it loose like this. But I got a good bite. Sweet. That's what I had to do to get it. It's not too crazy, but I couldn't break it before. It was a little bit crazy. A lot bit crazy. Okay. Now I can gnaw at that with my dull knife. Okay, nothing appears to be binding. All right. Hey, that was way better than I expected. Thank you, Lord. Dad and I have this thing where we forget to pray before we do projects, and then when we pray, it doesn't just work that way, that God helps us get it when we pray, but it's always a good idea to pray before. So I was praying, Lord, help this to go smoothly. And that went about as good as I could have hoped. Now for the batteries, I gotta go get those. Clean up some of my stuff here. Get the batteries in. Still can't start it because I don't have the cylinders, but hopefully I get those tomorrow. I can put them on Friday, and this tractor hopefully will be ready to go. I can get it serviced and hooked up to the sprayer here in a minute. If I've got time today, I'm going to try to get that water tank moved and start running some water into it so I can run the pump to warm up the oil, change the oil on that engine. And then I can be ready to start spraying whenever it's time to start spraying, which will be soon. Alright, so I don't know if I have the right parts or not. This one seems to be the right size, but it's not the right part based on the diagram that I've seen. But it seems to match up with the old ones. So there's a foam bushing here. I wasn't sure if this was in decent shape, but it seems to be good. I can spin it all the way around. So I'm not going to replace that one yet, but so that's actually probably better because there's not enough clearance to get a hammer in here to hammer it down. And so I was going to need to find a way to kind of prise this down. But what I need to do is replace this bottom one, which really I'd rather do it in reverse order probably, is to have them both have the top one out so that I could get this one in easier. But so I'm hoping that I can prise up on this cylinder. So what I'm going to do is hammer this pin up enough to where I can get that. Well, there's nothing in there. I can get a new one of these pushed in there, and then that ought to be easier than I was expecting. Now the other side, I think the top one is messed up, and the bottom one, I don't know yet. I'll have to go check. But the top is definitely ruined, so I'll need to do the opposite, and that'll be harder because I gotta just somehow prise that down. except that pin's not going high enough. Man, okay, here's my problem. I prise up on this, but the pin's still sticking below, and the pin is hitting right there. So I don't know if I could get it in there or not. Maybe I could try, see if there's enough clearance, because when I see that, still see the pin sticking through. Now there's a little bit of daylight, but I don't think it's enough to get my foam piece under there. I'm not a quitter, but I am going to change to something, another job, because I think that's going to get more involved than I wanted to at the moment. So I'm going to lower all these shanks, 8 of them, to this line right there, I believe. I believe they all are the same. I'm going to measure to make sure. I decided for sure these are good. Talking with Dad, there's not enough wear on those. And then I think there's enough wear to get a few more acres out of these. You know, there's still some points sticking below the base here, and so once this wears back a little further, they'll need to go. But I think I got a little bit more life out of them, and so I'm going to do that. I'm going to leave them. So all I got to do is lower these down. I'm going to put a little bit of this Never Seize anti-seize on these threads, just because we don't want to twist these off, because then we'd have to cut out these nuts that are welded in and find new ones, weld them in. So try to take care of these with some penetrating oil and some anti-seize. So I'm going to spray all these, and then I'm going to also go back with some soapstone, just in case, just so I know where I had these, because this is where I'm going to raise them back up to on my second pass to kind of bust up the bed. So I don't know if there's as clear of a mark on that, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Sometimes just run this in and out. So these dirt gets back in here, and then it rains and it rusts the threads on the inside of this tube, and so that's why that gets a little bit tight. All right, gotta hold on to this one. If you don't hold on, it will break, it will drop and break off these tips. Ask me how I know. So I'm just dropping to this mark on the shank. There's a kind of a line cut there. Then also, when I get to that point, I gotta push back. Kind of push the way it's going to be pulled into the in the ground, so it's tight here and there's a gap there. You can see that right there. So now that I got that, I'll do the same thing here. there's that. So I think my one on the other side is off. It's got a shorter shank on that, so I should be at about a little over 5.5 sticking up, and then 24-ish inches to the tip of the chisel point. 5.5 and 24. Let's check the next one. Okay, let's see what that's going to be. Around 5.5. Let's roll with it. We'll compare them after. Under 5 3/8. $24.25. Which one's right? I don't know. Let's do a third one. Turns out I was wrong on both of these. There's a mark on the backside. Unfortunately, it's on the backside. It's not the one that I was using there, so that puts it down to 4.5 inches here, which is exactly what this one was. This one didn't have a mark on this side, just on the back side, and so then I started checking some of these others. This is an every year thing. I can never remember. 4.5 inches to there, and so that'll be right. I believe the one on the end is the one that is off. For some reason the shank, you can see they didn't cut that shank very clear, very clean. So that measurement's going to be different. But if I go to the line on all these, it should be consistent. So gotta fix the other two. I got them all done except for this last one. That bottom bolt is real tight, and I'm afraid it's going to twist off. So I'm going to let it soak with some penetrating oil for a while. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Still can't get that bolt loose, so still keep soaking it. I got the tractor pulled out. I got the plow leveled side to side. You do that on the linkage on the 3-point. I'll have to change the tilt when I'm in the field. I need to move it to get the skid steer out, because I'm gonna go put the plugs in the pump and the tank for the water, the nurse trailer, and then I'm gonna use the skid steer to move it around to the front of the house so I can start running some water in there. And I may run out of time, but I was hoping to try to get oil changed on that. I got some meetings here. It's already almost 1. I've got a meeting at 2:30, so I got to run home and shower and eat. So I don't know if I'll get it done in time, but I'll at least get some water running there, and can get started on. That way I can get it. You know what I can change it later. All right, first plug is this one right here for the pump, and I put a little bit of goop on it. That's probably good. The next one I got to get on the ground. I think this is the best side. Yeah. That one under there. Here I come. All right, I had all of these valves open through the winter, hoping that they would. That one's good. Hoping that they wouldn't get any water trapped in them and they wouldn't freeze. So I'm actually going to leave that open because when I'll circulate the pump just to get the engine engine warmed up. Close that one already. All right, see if I can find some critters in here to mess with. Anybody in there? Not for now. Good. And then got to blow it out because you never know what kind of junk might be. Nope, not yet. One more thing. Water's turned off at the house. Okay, this is where I might find some treasures. Okay, not bad. This should get me water out there. All right, now maybe this will work. Let's see if I got this any better. Slightly. Any leaks over here? That all looks good. That looks good. I need to drain this out. There's more of that junk in there. See all that? Okay. Well, I get to climb on here again to take this plug off and get wet. Coming at me. Oh. Okay. I lost my lid. I probably should go on. Run out of time. Out real fast so that can dry. Tighten that up so that's better. Let's see what we can find in here. Yeah, a bunch of nasty. There was some white residue in the bottom of this, but it wasn't like this when I drained it, like solids. So I don't know if this is from hauling fertilizer or something else I had in there. But it's better. A lot of water. It's just a lot in there, and it's hard to get the water to flow the way it doesn't want to go. So I'll be there when I get back. I've got a meeting to go to, and then another meeting to go to after that. And then tomorrow we have our big Rolling Plains cotton growers meeting in Abilene all day. So I'll be gone all day tomorrow, and then Friday. So this will dry out, and then I'll add more water to it. But it's chasing me, so I better get out of here. Thanks for watching. It's good to be back farming. It was good to take a break from farming for a little bit, and filming actually, to be honest. And so I'm back. It's still February. It's almost March, but stuff's about to start happening. I'm going to get that strip till. I still couldn't get that bolt broken loose just a minute ago. So maybe Friday, I can start strip tilling some and start knocking some of those acres out. I can get the cylinders put back on the 8130, so I can get the sprayer hooked up, get this cleaned out, and start thinking about doing some spraying if I've got some good weather, and just try to knock that out. I've got to do some repairs on the shredder, so I can get some of these cotton stalks shredded, because it's going to rain. I'm going to make some wheat, believe it. And so I just going to keep chugging along on things. So thanks for watching. Keep watching. If you're going to farm it.